Yo, what's going on everybody? It's FreakyDude99 and welcome back to Destiny 2 Episode Echoes and Act 2 of the story and of this episode. Act 2 is just dropped, and for our first little part of this week, we gotta go see Ikora Ray. So we're just going there now, but yeah, super exciting stuff. Everyone's already here. The next act, Act 2, we finally got 50 more tiers added onto the season pass, which is awesome. We got the new row for the artifact perk, so very exciting stuff. Let's see what Ikora Ray's got for us. Ooh. I wonder if we're jumping right into a cutscene.
The witness is dead. There was no predicting what would come next. But this is what we know. When the witness fell, the Black Fleet's eons of salvation and death surged. Its darkness merged with the Traveler's light, formed first into memory, and then into shape. This impossible object, this echo of the fleet's victims, holds immense power. And it was left for anyone to find. The echo grants the ability to compel. To control. To command. And with it, the Conductor has the potential to turn their threat into our annihilation.
Ooh, that was so cool. Ooh. Oh, I love that, like, art style that we're seeing for these new cutscenes for the episodes. And it almost looks like the echo is the mantle, but it almost looked like it created the Conductor itself there. So the people come with the echoes, they are part of these echoes. It's like the witnesses remembering. Oh man.
Genocide. Thousands of civilizations across the universe, all visited by the Black Fleet, all lost to the violence of the TheFinalShape. That's where this echo comes from. At least, that's our theory. Reports from the Pale Heart, readings on the valence emanating from the Traveler. Everything we faced when we stared down the witness and broke its fleet. At first, we didn't know what to call them, but echoes seemed apt. Memories from the victims of the pyramids, held by the darkness, then coalesced by the light into artifacts as sharp and fatal as their pain. If darkness is memory, and light is form, what else could they be? But there's still so much we don't know. Is this the only one? What forgotten people gave form to this echo? What was their final cry at their end? For control? A means to turn back their oppressors? My Hidden will keep searching for whatever answers the witness's death can give us. Hopefully they number more than the questions it left behind. But we need to stop the Conductor and secure the echo. Guardian, descend into Nessus. Massive amounts of Radiolaria have been diverted beneath the planet's crust. We need to find out what the Vex are building there.
Ooh. So yeah, 1,000 civilizations across the universe, all victims. Memories of the victims of the pyramids held by the darkness. So I'm wondering if this is kind of an explanation. Ooh, Battleground Delve. This is kind of an explanation of the witnesses' manipulations of the Vex, and through the Radiolaria and Clarity Control, perhaps this is memories of that coming out with the main person the witness used as manipulation, which is the Conductor, as far as we know. There's a lot of questions for what these echoes actually mean for the story, because are the echoes just items, or are the echoes bringing people along with them? Because we even have lore tabs talking about how whoever the Conductor is, they're not alone. There is someone else there that is with them to take away a bit of that silence, and they have a calming presence. So it's really interesting of like, who is that person? And then also, why did the echo create this person? Or was it just that this person, the Conductor, found the echo at that exact point? But as far as we know, the Conductor, they did not merge into... Oh, this is a very interesting fly-in screen. Whoa, that was wild.
Greetings, Captain. As you can see, the Vex have drained the Radiolarian lake located in this sector.
We suspect it is at the Conductor's instruction, but we do not know the reason why.
There is a 99.9 repeating % chance that the reason is nefarious in nature. Please investigate.
House does scavenge them. Move them, Guardian.
And, Captain, watch out for the Fallen. Their reasons are probably nefarious too.
The Fallen block your path. Take their data.
Well, it's nice that Saint 14 is still with us. Still wants to crush the Fallen. And we have House Dusk members as well. Cowling's Baron of House Dusk. So this is very interesting. House Dusk is still around. They're not completely gone. They're still just scavenging, but hey, if their scavenging leads them to take control of the Echo, then ooh, that's not good. But again, can they even take control of the Echo? Because is the person part of that Echo? It would be really cool if we got an Echo ourselves, or like we actually claimed control of it after the episode. It's going to be very interesting to see how these acts and stuff progress along, I will say. But to do that, we need to get through these battlegrounds. Battleground Delve, we are just recovering fallen data using a nice little Liar's Handshake build. Probably see a build of it come up probably after this video. And we're just clearing out enemies. Ain't so bad, it seems. Just a number of guys. And there's 3 more. And clear out. Yeah, not bad, not bad. This is kind of like mission density. I imagine in the actual like activity, this will be a lot more dense, so, but we'll see. At least in the dev stream, it looked like there was a lot more action happening, as well as there was champions there, so I think it's a pretty safe bet. Oh, watch out, buddy. We're getting close here, Just a couple more guys. I'm guessing another servitor is going to spawn for us to take down. Oh, look at that. Ooh, that was clean. 1, 2, 3, and we're done.
We can only assume the Fallen here are searching for the Echo for themselves.
It doesn't take a Vex simulation to know that would be really bad.
If they secure it, it will be as disastrous as the Conductor. We cannot allow their interference to persist.
Ain't that the truth? No matter who has this conductor, it's gonna be bad. Huh. Some radiolite. Inject some radiolite into the area. Very nice. Gotta get our samples. There's a bunch of fallen. And we're heading down. So we're kind of in the like battle area for the Mesmerize mission. The last mission of Act 1 there. And it seemed like the Fallen had these guys in
Failsafe
cages?
tells me the Vex are advancing on your position. Be careful, Guardian.
Okay, that guy just disappeared. Got some Cyclops to deal with, no matter. Eliminate the Vex. Very interesting, very interesting. We're also getting Azure Radiolite. I don't believe Azure Radiolite was what we were seeing before. Yeah, no. We were just getting the Ivory and the Crimson. Boom. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because they're still keeping a lot of mystery to this, but it feels like we know a little bit more of what's going to even happen in the next episode. But again, they've shown that we only know like we kind of only really know the first part. Because things take a twist pretty quickly. Just clear through all these guys. Boom. Oh, those are the new teleporting wyverns. Uh-oh, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Yeah, I remember seeing these guys in the live stream. They can teleport now. That's probably the worst thing you could have given them because they can one-shot you at point-blank range. Oh, jeez Louise. Ooh. Let's go. Explore the caverns. Let's go. Back in here. Calyx, Baron of House Dusk.
The fallen captain is withdrawing. Pursue it.
We'll do our best, Osiris. Heading down into the caverns.
These caves were carved by the retroactive flow of Radiolaria caused by Vex time manipulation. That it's all been drained now is worrying. Where is it all going?
So to me, that makes me think that this entire, this whole area was all filled with Radiolaria. And all of it has been drained into just a little pool. Like, that is a ton. Like, all this space just pumped full of Radiolaria. And now it's just drained. Oh. This kind of golden radiolite, huh? This kind of looks this looks like one of those in that Battlegrounds way back in like Season of Chosen. When you go down, yeah. But it's all just like nature now. Yeah, and you'd jump down.
Looks like House Dusk managed to imprison a Vex Hydra. You'll need to take care of both.
Imprisoned a Vex Hydra, huh? What are you imprisoning a Vex Hydra for? Ooh. Baron of House Dusk. House Dusk still around. That's pretty wild. Perhaps we're finally, that's the thing, maybe House Dusk will lead into episode 2 as well. So there is a little bit of like a through line of what is happening. Because that would make sense. House Dusk, they don't get their hands, maybe they don't get their hands on this Echo, but then they see that Fickrel has his hands on another Echo and they're like, well, maybe he's fulfilling the you know, maybe that is the true evolution for the Fallen, is to become Scorn. I don't know. Fallen are having a pretty tough time right now, and especially with Mithrax seeming like he is just getting worse and worse. It doesn't give strong hope for, you know, the future of
The Fallen have released the Vex Hydra. Please continue your path of destruction.
much hope for the future of like our buddy and also House Light when we're getting a lot more enemies coming up. And that's not even knowing where Aramis is. She just dipped out.
The Vex block our path. They're aware of our intentions. Wherever the Radiolaria leads will tell us what we need to know about the Conductor. We must delve further into Nessus. Failsafe.
The data contained in that Hydra will allow me to extract the authorization codes required to progress further into Nessus. Bring it back to the helm, and I can get started on cracking it open.
You heard her, Guardian.
Wonderful. So what do we got to do? Give some commendations. Quests. Radiolite sampler can extract nice light unique segments. Use it to extract Vex code mutations from Radiolite incubators within the activities. Iridescent incubators provide the greatest chance. So we just got to go and get some iridescent Radiolite. So I guess I'll go and do that. I'll jump into a breach executable. They do have the Battlegrounds here, but that's like the playlist, and we haven't even unlocked the second one. So I'll probably jump into this, and then we'll see you back at the helm. And we have collected all of our iridescent Radiolite and all that data, and we're back with the helm. Activate upgrade protocol. Ooh, very, very cool. And I guess we're speaking with Failsafe as well. Wow, look at that. The whole kind of thing got upgraded. Rising Chorus Act 2. Failsafe's lights gleam with excitement at your approach. You're back, and with samples I performed a full system upgrade and I'm ready for action, Captain. Nothing can stop us now, not even a bug. Which I mentioned because there was one. Failsafe lowers her voice. Like a real bug. It crawled onto the mainframe. Patch that sucker right out. She offers you her patch notes. Failsafe 2.1 patch notes. Upgrade bug exterminated. premium research base installed, tuned radiolite sampler created, favorite colors chosen. Oh, let's go! Processing power increased by 16.66666665%. Pride and shared accomplishments increased by 70%. Aww. Man, Failsafe, I'm so glad she's part of the team because she's the best. Awesome, awesome. Now we just have another Battleground to do. Ooh, and we have something to drop off here. A new artifact, maybe. Ooh, we filled them out. Completely filled out now. It's coming along. It's coming along. Alrighty. And we have a new Battleground to jump into. This time, Battleground Conduit. It's missing its icon there. Alrighty, this has been very good. I love new activities. New battlegrounds are always fun. Just a swarm of enemies to just go in and battle as much as you want to. It's gonna be interesting here because Scene 14, he's back with us, but I don't know. I'm hoping we get at least a little bit more answers. I imagine Act 2 here and this like Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 of Act 2 we'll get a lot more answers because Act 3 I assume will be our final showdown. So we'll just get some Guardians here and head on into the Battlegrounds. Now I've been very excited about this one. Because this one I believe is us adventuring into new territory. Because we kind of did before. We adventured into new territory before with the previous Battlegrounds, but just like a little bit. We were kind of in that first mission like area and at the end of it, and then yeah, we ended here in the aqueducts. Oh, look at these zoomers.
So, I'm, calculating the volume of Radiolaria running through these tubes. It is about 20 million cubic miles per hour. That's a lot. Like, a lot. You need to find out where it's going.
Follow the flow, Guardian. It's all moving somewhere, and the Conductor is controlling it.
Wow, that is a lot of Radiolaria. Again, like, all of this space was filled... Oh, I can't even see, I'm blinded. All this space was filled with Radiolaria to some extent, and now it's just been drained out. Like, you gotta think of how big these rooms are and how much, like, could be contained within them. We also have... Is this Shadow Legion? It looked like it. Because the Cabal were doing their mining stuff on Nessus in the Red War, so I guess they still have leftovers around. Woo. Very nice, very nice. Got some coral guys. These guys with the... These are coral goblins. Oh! I didn't even notice. Yeah, these are coral goblins. They aren't compelled. And they're... I'll have to look because this looks like a precursor Vex to some extent. Or I guess, which one? It looks like the future Vex. It looks like Vex we've seen before. There's the ones that are all rusted, and then there's the ones that are all fresh looking. And I believe we saw those in the Garden World Strike. That was the Garden World Strike in like D2 Vanilla. I'm gonna have to, that raises some interesting questions here. Because are these coral goblins, like, have they always existed in that whole Vex sense, or is this purely like new Vex? Because if it's new Vex, then that's cool as heck. Oh, I was about to say, I was like, you know what, there's not much of a, you know, we're just kind of dodging, we're punching, we're doing our usual thing here. Not much that's too scary, but then that wyvern showed up. Yeah, like these spaces are huge.
The Shadow Legion are an unnecessary complication. Cabal Scions have always had a keen interest in Vex technology, and the Echo is a strong incentive.
We crushed them on Neptune. We crushed them here.
Whatever it takes to keep the Echo out of their hands.
See, now we got the Shadow Legion, and as far as we know, there's no Shadow Legion stuff involved with the Echo. It would be really interesting to see an episode play out where the Echo is changing hands from act to act. Like, suddenly, you know, at the end of this act, it's like, oh, the Fallen now have the Echo, and what the heck are we doing? Huh. I wonder if that could potentially be a thing. Could potentially be a thing. Of the Fallen claiming the Echo and suddenly they're not the, suddenly the Vex aren't the big bad. I don't know. There's...
With my data and your ghost interface, we can divert the Radiolaria and allow us passage. Please proceed.
There's a lot of directions. Yeah, we're getting gold radiolite, azure radiolite. Bunch of platforms get created to walk on. Nice. You just gotta defend Ghost, easy enough. Just laid the smack down. Yeah, I feel like I just, you know, there's so much possibility, so much potential in what is actually gonna go down with this Conductor and everything. I still feel a little geared, like there's gonna be a twist, a little unexpected. Just who is the calm person that is with the Conductor and helping them? There we go. Man, I love this space. Just
Halfway there. We've got our work cut out for us, huh?
I just love this space. Just the Radiolaria waterfalls, all this Vex architecture with just the plants and flora everywhere. I love how it looks Vex, if you know what I mean. It just has like some of those plants just have like a little bit of a bit more of a glow than you think they should, like those ones. They kind of remind me of Black Garden plants. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. There's still the kind of theory that we're going to come upon the creation of the Vex. Like, there is a point in time where the Vex were first created, but then they used time travel to, like, spread out and exist permanently. But there's a theory that we could still be coming upon that time where, you know, the first...
Stand by. Hack complete. Please proceed to the route.
Where that first Vex could be created in some sense and sent back. But also, based on what we're learning from this, it's like
at all this Radiolaria. It fills the planet like a water balloon. What does the Conductor want with it? If the Conductor can control the flow of Radiolaria here, it means they can control the Vex on Nessus.
Spreading it throughout the system would mean the Conductor could bring more collectives under their yoke.
That's not good. That's not good at all. So are they... I wonder if we're gonna loop back around to somehow Asher Mir and, you know, the whole lake is not a metaphor. Like, I believe we already kind of hit that with last year. But all this Radiolaria, yeah, it's pooling up. It's pooling up. Man, this space is beautiful. Wow. Kamarian, Radial Overseer. I thought I had another jump, and I didn't.
There. The Radiolaria flow is controlled from this chamber. Disrupt their operation.
Okay. Pool and Radiolaria here. And we got some cubes. Looks like we got a Hydra we need to take out. Don't mind if I do. Oh, stand in it. Open. Someone need to stand on that side? Or is that kind of finished? How does this encounter work? Oh, there we go. Both plates just need to be stepped on. Alrighty, and let's see if we can just nuke this person. Hopefully I'd actually land my shots here. Boom. Boom. Fantastic.
The Radiolaria is flowing, but we cannot follow it further.
We need a plan. Following it blindly will take precious time. There has to be a faster way.
The Radiolaria here may contain abnormalities compared to the samples I have collected over my centuries of isolation. I've had a long time to study this stuff. Bring some back, and I'll figure out what to do.
Failsafe, you need to know. If we succeed, it'll be because of your hard work here.
That is kind of you to say. However, if we fail, I abdicate all responsibility and will strike my involvement from our records. See you back at the helm, Captain.
Nah. Thanks, Failsafe. Glad to know you're on our side. Yeah, so this is the control room. But it keeps going deeper, huh? Alrighty, very, very interesting stuff. I'm looking forward to the dialogue on all the, like, following playthroughs, because sometimes that's the other thing. First time playthrough, you get your dialogue, but then on all your follow-throughs, and then especially going back into the executable breach, or the breach executable, seeing what new dialogue is in there. I'm also wondering if Enigma Protocol got updated. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things to check out. But for now, we head back to the helm. Back in our helm. Failsafe version 2.1, it even says right there.
Guardian, I hear that you are hard at work on Nessus, following the Echo and the Conductor. I know you do this in part for me, but I do not know if I am worthy trouble. I was pulled through Nessus like a toy on a string. The Conductor's words still echo in my mind. A copy of a copy of a copy. Osiris pushed through time to find his Saint 14. He said he was careful, but he reached blindly, and he pulled out only me. And now, I live a life that does not belong to me. I am something left over from a broken timeline. A remainder. The Conductor whispered I should be thrown away. A solution as simple as correcting an error. And maybe that would... I do not know what to think anymore.
Oh. Yeah, Saint 14. Not doing well. A lot of self-doubt. And Failsafe is processing the data we gathered, so that looks like that is the end of part 1 of Act 2 of Episode Echoes. Very, very nice stuff. Very, very nice stuff. There we go. And we also do have a radio message here.
You're only doing this to hurt yourself, and I will not be a part of it.
Osiris, answer the question I need to know.
It doesn't matter. Not like this.
It matters to me. Please. How did I first tell you that I loved you?
Saint! You had asked me for something, some tactical report. I gave it to you, and you thanked me, and you said that you loved me. You said it as if you had already said it 1,000 times before. I was not ready to say it in return, but it was not long until I was.
That is not... I do not remember it this way. That is not what happened in my simulation. We were together in the tower, overlooking the city, talking about something small. And I said what I felt in that moment. And my Osiris did not hesitate to say the same.
Your Osiris? Saint, you love me. It doesn't matter how it or where that began, not in such fine detail. Saint!
Oh man, is Saint 14... is he disappearing on us again? Is he just gone now? Because if anything, that just proves right away. For some... I'll have to look back at Season of Dawn, because for some reason I thought that we completed the paradox and that is our Saint 14. But right there, that kind of concludes that they're not the same. And if anything, that is going to wreck Saint 14. And then if he runs off and he sides with the Conductor, like, who knows what's gonna happen here. It doesn't sound good at all. My only hope is that somehow this evolves into a Vex alliance, but that is wishful thinking at this point, because man, that is just rough. And then we also do have a new lore page here as well for our Polyphony. 4 MSun 12 personal log 003 AS. I'm still among the Vex. My 3rd day of reawakening has been the cruelest so far. I have generated a log to sort through my thoughts. This is just too much to take all at once. My ability to focus is strained with a shrill and immediate grief. My heart lived in my beloved's hands. How am I supposed to comprehend that this isn't just absence, but death? There will be evidence, histories these meticulous machines would have catalogued. I will find evidence that I was missed, am missed. I know what I must do. The primary query continues. Day 8. I'm gonna, after something. After 2 days of requesting authorization, the Vex finally granted me access to their historical records of Earth. I read a term for an era I knew, the collapse, and indeed they did. Technological capabilities impacted, hostile combatants occupying the majority of the planet for far too long, invention and experimentation, not related to paracausal power sources, halted for centuries. It seems humanity was huddled together like wet kittens, the cramped and stifled survivors of monumental destruction. I read the records as if they were from some other civilization's primitive past rather than my own. The Vex documented it all, collected all they could, smother their milk with. One human wrote about the day they stood on the edge of an abandoned dam and watched a swarm of small machines spew from some unseen seam in the Traveler. How Nezaric's ships turned day into midnight. How the years that followed hastened humanity's extinction. Countries that turned to anarchy, then to feudalism. The art and technology we bled and wept to champion adorned as power grids failed and disasters swelled. Humanity could have kept experimenting and learning, but when Earth died, so too, what made them human. They forgot everything we were. Day 28. Past events mean little to a threat so preoccupied with iterating on the future. While Vex do not share my interest in history, they have tracked this timeline all the same. There are trillions of alternate versions, of course, but it seems these Vex diligently dispose of those potentialities once a present moment slides chronologically into the past. I've thrown myself into these records. The primary query is in full force. It seems humans have retained none of their virtues or diligence, only resilience through violence. Their numbers have radically reduced only enough to fill a single city. They suffer a supplication of scientific rigor. What inventions have they made? What disease have they cured? Who is better here? Most disappointingly, humans seem to have forgotten the entirety of their history, and instead of something sensible, went and established a junta. Earth is a near total loss. Advanced cities have been replaced over centuries by encroaching overgrowth of native species and the ruin of time. The climate's balance was erased by warlords. Universal democracy has collapsed into military rule. Again, for emphasis, instead of trying to recreate the forms of governance they knew existed, they concluded that voting is for elitist braggarts and empowered a junta. The more I see the mistakes of humanity made, the more obvious the solutions are. It is clear that during the collapse they had nothing but terror, empty of anything other than sheer survival. But how insulting it feels to look at that become of the future. How insulting it feels to look at what became of the future and only see frightened, frothing dogs. There are lessons to be learned in their methods, but the result is inelegant and crude. If these people are to see the future, they must look backwards to what they lost. I know I now have the means to aid them. 32. I have tamed the untamable. With practice and soon with mastery. With a single phrase, I can divert the Vex's sea of iteration and death. Think of the utility. We could retake home, dissolve the walls of the last city, and let each person decide what home means to them. With targeted hostility, we may clear a path for peace, revive the machines of science and learning once again. Someday, with technology redistributed from Vex to humanity, every need can be met with any simulation. All it will take is an alignment of interest through measured coercion. It's so simple. And yet, all that must wait. Primary query must be concluded. It is the one outstanding variable. There have been too many false positives. None of them are correct. None. The query is only turning back facsimiles, trick mirrors, and I know I'm right. I will not stop until the primary query stops pulling from false datasets. I can think of little else. We must look backward. I must look backward. I must. From M Sun 12. Maya Sundaresh. Maya Sundaresh, also known as the Exo Lakshmi II, is what we believe to be the Conductor. And for someone who in the Golden Age was so obsessed with, well, seemingly evil purposes of the Vex, they seem to now want to actually help. They are actually using the primary query to learn about the Golden Age and all this time that there wasn't a history kept, and be able to redistribute that history. Someday with technology redistributed from Vex to humanity, every need can be met with any simulation. So basically using Vex simulation to potentially create food, farm, housing, everything they need. But man, this just creates a whole slew of new questions. And we also have lore cards from Corrasion. These don't look too big, so we might as well just go through them. Watch your step. The fallen scout skittered down into a newly formed crevice on the surface of Nessus, catching the rock face with his claws as he descended. New tunnels and cave systems had emerged in the wake of the anomaly's impact on the planet, and at Baron Kalisk's command, those caves had to be mapped and explored. The task fell to a dreg. He scrambled down smooth tunnels and flung himself between floating outcroppings of rock, catching the stone and skidding to a halt above a yawning chasm. The deeper he descended, the more angular the stone became. Soon, he discovered a large open chamber swarming with Vex. The dreg flattened himself against the side of the cavern and watched. A minotaur, a dozen harpies, and a handful of goblins all worked together. The minotaur raised its hand, and a coil of light sprung up between its mechanical fingers. He knew of the Vex's terraforming. He had never seen it firsthand. It frightened and awed him. The Vex raised large platforms and pillars of stone, materializing great discs of metal and lighting portals in white light, crafting their world from the core of the planet. A series of staggered platforms materialized before the dreg, angular and finely cut. Cautiously, the dreg stepped into one, hiding behind one of the newly made blocks of stone as he watched the Vex more closely. Remembering his mission, the Vex turned and planted a beacon into a seam in the stone at his feet. The seam cracked, loosening a section of rock, and the beacon clattered down a long drop into nothingness, hitting the sides of the cave as it fell. The Vex stopped. Slowly, one by one, they turned to face the source of the noise. The platform dissolved beneath the dreg's feet in a shimmer of white and lattice light. Shrieking, he leapt from the platform and scrambled for the cavern wall. The stone shuddered open behind him, sliding away as he fell backwards into the newly formed gap. The Minotaur gestured again, and the dreg scrambled to his feet just as the stone slabs closed hard around him. Whoa, Vex actually using terraforming. And Aberrant Action. From thought to action, from threat to war. Baron Calix looked down on Nessus from the command deck of his ketch, watching with suspicion. "There's something down there," Calix said darkly. "The Vex respond to it. The entire planet responds to it." The Vandal at his side looked to him, expecting a command. Calix narrowed his eyes, then turned to the console beside him. He had heard the older Elixni of his house speak of the Great Machine, their voices full of hissed venom as its mention. Something had erupted from it, and House Dust scavengers had seen the arc of light that trailed down to Nessus. How, then, to proceed? The Vanguard's comms were nearly impenetrable, but the Elixni had scraped one word from them: anomaly. Calix... Calix drew one claw over the surface of the console screen, over the strings of data flashing across it. Orbital changes, seismic disturbances, and worse, a surge of Guardians crawling through the Vex tunnels, likely stealing vital information. That pathetic AI in its broken body of a ship had begun sending teams of those machines spawn on tactical operations. It had jammed House comms and disrupted their scavenging, wasting lives and resources. The Elixni Baron turned sharply. The dregs behind him jumped to attention under his gaze, then bowed their two remaining arms outstretched, clacking their mandibles nervously. "Ready the cages," Calix called out. "Arm the mines." The dregs scurried out of the room to obey his command. "What is your plan?" the Vandal at his side asks. Calyx put one hand on the barrel of his Scorch Cannon. Capture Vex, break apart their mind, and find out what they know. Look for the ones with rounded heads, or with light around their necks. They'll have what we need. This thing, this anomaly, we will find it first. Ooh, this is a race against time. Us racing against the Fallen. Oh man, we are in for a fun Act 2 here, I tell you what. Well, that looks like that's all the lore for us. And that's it for part 1 of Act 2, so thank you everybody so much for watching. I've been FreakyDude99. This has been Destiny 2 Episode Echoes Act 2 and part 1 of our journey through it. So far, it has been a joy. Love and Failsafe, love Osiris and Scene 14 and their dynamic being more fleshed out. And then, man, that radio message, that just kind of solidifies our worst fears. And if anything, it's kind of crazy to think of what's going to happen to Scene 14 by the end of this, because it doesn't feel like things are ever going to be the same. If anything, they're showing that things are changing permanently, and there's not much we can do to stop it. But other than that, it's been awesome. We've upgraded our helm, we got some new artifacts, and well, yeah, we'll see you next week for part 2 of Act 2. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and well, we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.